All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
And today we're going to try to help you understand lookup value.
It's a good one.
In Microsoft Excel.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at an excerpt that explains lookup value.
Okay.
And it's kind of like you know how VLOOKUP is like this,
yeah.
like this workhorse function that people use a lot.
It is the gateway drug to.
It is. And this is kind of like VLOOKUP on steroids.
Right.
So lookup value.
It really is.
It is a function that searches for a value in a column, and it does that based on a search criteria from other columns.
Right.
And it can even work across related tables.
It can.
So
which is really cool.
What's cool about that is like you could have all your customer data in one table, and then all your order details in another table, and you can use lookup value to connect those two tables together.
You got it.
Yeah,
yeah, and it's so much cleaner than like those big nested if statements or anything like that. And it's a really clean way to get the data you need.
Yeah, for sure.
And like you said, it's like VLOOK, but way more powerful.
Way more powerful.
Yeah.
So where do you want to go next?
Well, let's talk about the syntax since you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah. So the basic syntax of the lookup value function is it lookup value and then open parentheses.
Okay.
And then the first argument is result column name.
Okay, so what is a result column name?
So the result column is the column that has the value you actually want.
Got it.
So like, let's say you were looking up, I don't know.
Yeah.
An order number, right?
And you have a table.
So your result column would be the column that has the order numbers in it.
Got it, okay.
Right, so that's your result column.
Makes sense.
And then after the result column, you have a comma.
And then the next argument is search column name.
Okay.
And this is the column that you're going to be searching through to try to find the value that you're looking for.
Right. So is that like our customer ID or something?
It could be, it could be a customer ID.
Okay.
It could be a date.
Got it.
It could be any kind of value that you're looking for.
Okay.
And then after search column, you have another comma.
Okay.
And then you have search value.
Okay.
And this is the actual value that you want to find in the search column.
Okay.
So if you were searching for a customer ID of 12345, then your search value would be 12345.
Right. Okay.
And then the last argument is optional.
Okay.
It's alternate result.
All right. So what is the alternate result?
The alternate result is what you want to display if the lookup value function can't find a match. Or if it finds multiple matches that have different results.
Right.
So for example, if you're looking up a customer ID and it doesn't exist in your table, you might want to display an error message.
Okay.
Or you might want to display a blank cell.
Right.
Or you might want to display some other value. So that's what the alternate result argument is for.
Okay. So if the lookup value function doesn't find a match, or if it finds multiple matches with different results, then the alternate result argument is what's going to be displayed.
Exactly.
Okay, I got it.
So it gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of how you handle those situations.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the basic syntax of lookup value function.
Okay.
And and it's really, really powerful.
And that alternate result is so helpful.
It is.
Because
it's a lot better than using like ICER or IFER.
Right.
To try to handle those errors.
Yeah.
I can just build it right into the function.
Yeah, I usually use IFER.
Yeah.
But I can see how...
Yeah, it's a lot cleaner and more efficient.
Yeah, it makes sense just to build that in right into the formula itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we can also use multiple pairs of search columns and values.
Yes, you can. And that's really what makes lookup value so powerful.
Right. So we can do like the customer ID and the order date.
Exactly.
And then pull a specific piece of data out.
Yeah. So like in our example where you have customer data in one table and order details in another table, you could use the customer ID and the order date as your search criteria. Yeah. And then you could pull like the order total.
Right. Exactly.
Or the shipping address.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Or any other information that you want.
So, we also wanted to touch on the related function a little bit.
So the related function is a little bit different than lookup value.
Okay.
But it's often used in similar situations.
Okay.
So the related function is specifically designed to work with related tables. Okay. So if you have two tables that are related to each other in a database, then you can use the related function to pull data from one table to the other.
Okay.
And it's actually more efficient than using lookup value.
Oh, really?
In those situations.
Okay.
Because it leverages the relationship that already exists between the tables.
Okay, so it's already knows where to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it just pulls the data.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
So if you're working with related tables, definitely consider using the related function.
Okay, great tip.
Yeah.
Are there any limitations?
Yes, there are a few limitations with lookup value that you should be aware of.
Right.
So one limitation is that it's not supported in direct query mode for calculated columns or row-level security rules.
All right.
So if you're using direct query mode, you won't be able to use lookup value for those purposes.
Okay.
And then another limitation is that if there are multiple matches in the search column that have different results, then lookup value will return an error.
Right.
So that's where that alternate result argument.
Yeah, that's where that comes in handy.
Yeah, it comes in really handy.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are just a couple of limitations to keep in mind.
Got it.
When you're using lookup value.
So basically, lookup value is a really powerful function for anyone who needs to find specific data in their spreadsheets.
Especially for those complex searches.
Yes.
Where you have multiple criteria or you need to search across related tables.
Right.
It's a really, really powerful tool.
And that alternate result argument makes it really flexible.
It does.
So we can account for errors or anything like that.
Yeah. So if you're working with Excel data and you need to find specific information, highly recommend checking out lookup value.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
It's a great function to have in your toolbox.
It is. So what does all this mean for you as a listener?
So for you as a listener, if you're working with spreadsheets and you need to find specific information, lookup value can really help you streamline your workflow and make your life a lot easier.
Yeah. It can even help you automate some of your tasks.
It can, yeah. And it can help you avoid errors, which is always a good thing.
Always a good thing.
So yeah, I highly encourage you to check it out.
Play around with it and see how it can help you.
Yeah, play around with it, see what it can do.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
For another deep dive, and we'll catch you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.